Coach, how would you describe how good a defensive coach Coach Thorson is, and what kind of an impact he can have on this program?
Yeah, no, obviously he's a very good defensive coach. We built De La Salle and kind of what we did there, primarily on our defense. So, he's going to have a heavy voice in what we do defensively. Knows obviously the college game, knows our system and kind of how we want to implement it and put things in. So, it'll be a good teaching voice for all of our guys. He obviously knows the league and the things that we're going to do defensively, help us win. So, I'm very fortunate to have him leading our defense, and along with Coach Kemp, kind of doing that side of the ball.
What do you want the identity of this team to be?
Well, we talk a lot about that, and we have kind of like a core principles of what our brand wants to be, and I think it's important. Like when fans come to Williams Arena, we want them to walk away knowing what Minnesota basketball is all about. And one thing that we pride ourselves on is the development piece. We want guys individually to develop and get better from the beginning to the middle to the end. As a team, we've got to develop and have growth beginning, middle, and the end. And it's our goal that, throughout the years, including this year, that people can see that, like I said, both individually and as a team. And I think that's big. The next part, is toughness. We got to be the toughest team, especially this year. We don't have a lot of room for error. And so our mental toughness, our physical toughness has got to be on point. If there's a defensive stop that we've got to make at the end of the game, we've got to know our rotations, we got to communicate, and we got to get the stop. If there's a 50-50 ball that's loose, we got to find a way to get the 50-50 ball. If your job is to screen, you got to execute and you got to screen. If you got to make the free throw, you got to make the free throw. So there's the physical piece, that's the toughness, that's the grit, that's the nasty, and then there's the mental piece where you got to be able to execute. And then the last part is team. And that's going to be a constant. We have to be the team of all teams. We got to, lead the league in high fives and butt slaps, so to speak. We got to be a guy where you cheer for other success, where you watch the bench, guys are engaged. I think with this team, it's going to be somebody different probably every night, potentially. And when you play like that, everybody's got to have buy-in. Everybody's got to be locked in. Everybody's got to feel like they're a part of it. And I know that the team mindset and the team culture and the team aspect, that wins out in the long run. So those three things will be huge for us. We talk about them almost every day, and that hopefully will become and morph into our identity.
The last part of that team concept, I think you're kind of branding the family, committed to family. I mean, this team's from all over the place. There are a lot of new guys, but how have you seen them build that chemistry since they've all been here together?
Yeah, no, it's been great. We have. It's funny, these guys obviously didn't know each other and came from all different programs, different backgrounds, and their personalities all meshed. And that was something in recruiting that we really tried to hone in on. Is we knew, okay, if we're going to go the transfer route, you got to make sure you got to get like-minded guys for it to work. You can't have a bunch of different personalities that are total opposite and expect that you're going to be able to gel. And so we were able to get a bunch of guys with like-minded personalities that all kind of play the right way. And because of that, from day one, they had a group chat going before they even got to campus. And then once they stepped foot on campus, it was like they've known each other forever. And it's funny, you see one guy out on Dinkytown, you see 8 of them. You see one guy come in to shoot, you see 5, 6, 7 of them. And so that's the awesome part about it. And that's the part that, the foundation piece that we're laying, that's got to be the standard. And that's what this program is built on, that family piece, not only guys that played in the past, but guys that are present. And that's still family. And those guys got to have each other's back. And those guys got to be connected with one another because I think it translates. I think you don't have to be best friends, but if you don't like guys, it's hard to have that relationship on the court where it matters. And so I think that family, that connectiveness, that togetherness, it goes hand in hand. And if it's good off the court, it's probably going to be good on the court.
Coach, I know you had eight weeks with him over the summer, but just what were your overall impressions of day one today?
It was okay. we had a scrimmage on Saturday, which I thought was pretty good. I think guys were excited today. Obviously, to have you guys there, I think got them a little juiced a little bit too. So there's that piece, which I get, which I kind of expected. It's the first time they're able to go for more than an hour and kind of compete more than we normally do. And we threw a bunch of new stuff at them today because you got more time to teach and put in different stuff with your defensive system. So with that being said, I thought overall it was pretty good. I mean, these guys compete. They show effort every day. They want to get better every day. So I never really doubt that. It's just slowing down, playing slow, taking a deep breath, executing, all those little things that I know we'll get better at, but kind of go with the first day of practice.
All right. What are your early impressions of Jamison Battle, and what kind of impact can he make on your team this year?
I love Jamison. He's a worker. He's done a great job with his body. He's got himself in some really good shape. He's lost some weight. He's moving great. Guy lives in the gym. Have a ton of confidence in him as far as just not only shooting the basketball, but he knows how to play. And I think that's huge. He understands the game. He can think, makes the right play because it's the right play. So we're going to rely on him a lot. I think it's something he's embraced. He's excited for. Great teammate, wants to win. And so we're just really glad we got him in our locker room.
Ben, what kind of learning curve are you expecting? I mean, I can't remember a Big Ten team being almost a completely brand new team and then going into the Big Ten. So
yeah.
What are you expecting from this team, at least initially?
Yeah, I mean, and also if you really peel it back, I mean, I got two guys that have played, quote unquote, high major basketball. The good part is that, I got a lot of guys that are trying to prove themselves that they're more than capable, which I believe in, to play at this level. But you add that piece. I mean, it's different when you play, high major 2 or 3 times a year versus now it's like you get into league play and it's every single game. That's a whole different grind. But I know they'll rise to the challenge. For us, whether it's cliche or not, I mean, it's just every day you want to get better. And that's going to be the standard. I think when you're trying to win at the level that we're striving to win at, not only this year but in the future, you have to just worry about today. And did we get better today? I think the obvious is, I think every team across the country is going to talk about they want to make the NCAA tournament, they want to win the conference championship, and that's not different than our conversation. But I think if you take care of all the little stuff today and you get better today and you build that, eventually those conference championships and NCAA tournament and winning and hopefully getting to a Final Four, all that stuff becomes reality because you haven't missed any steps. And so I think that's what we're really trying to do here, especially for the younger guys, is to show them you have to grow every day. You can't be like this where, okay, we're great for 2 days, and we come off a break and now we're bad and then we got to catch up. It's like the way to win at this level consistently is you got to build and get better every day. So that's just going to be our goal. And I have faith that, like I said, if you do that, then the big picture things become a reality. But if you don't take care of the little stuff every single day, then I think big picture is really tough.
I'm curious if you've looked around the nation. It was such a weird confluence of COVID and the transfer portal. Yeah. Are there any other teams that are even close to being like yours?
I haven't looked a ton. I mean, that'd be a
you're busy.
Yeah, no, that'd be a good question to ask. So I can call them up and pick their brain and see how they're doing it. But yeah, it's different. I mean, like I said, the good part is, we knew going into it was going to be like this. And I couldn't be happy with the group of guys that we got. And I tell them all the time, I don't care where we're ranked. I don't care what people are going to say. I know it's not going to be easy. I've been here. The good part is I know what's coming, right? I've played in this league. I coached in this league. Some of those guys don't. I know what's coming. And so now it's our job just to probably prepare them every day for what's coming. Because there's going to be up and down. There's going to be good and bad. And we got to find a way to mentally be tough enough to fight through it. Just like if we win 3 games in a row, you can't get complacent. You got to be mentally tough to win the 4th. So the good and the bad really are the same. And that's why it goes back to if you're the same guy every day and you treat every day the same way of just trying to get better that day, then I think you can handle the adversity that we all know is going to come in one way or the other.
You've already coached in the Big Ten, so it's filled with quality big men, especially even now, guys coming back. What do you do obviously with Eric being the only guy that has that experience, and then obviously a guy like Trayton who needs to play, but he, you know, he's a young kid that's just trying to get experience and obviously grow physically as well.
Yep. I think if you're Trayton, it's a great opportunity. You know, it's a guy that you know, as a freshman, to have the opportunity to play and get valuable minutes, I think is huge. So I've told him, you know, you better embrace this. Like, if you're not embracing this and excited to compete, then, you know, we need to check your heart a little bit. But, you know, you got him, you know, you got CD, who I think is ready, a guy that, you know, came from Stephen F. Austin, which is a really good program. I think he's looking to, like, okay, how can I make a impact at the highest level? So I know he's hungry. You know, you got Danny, who came from Division II, who I think he's ready to compete and battle. So, you know, those guys are looking at it like that. And I think, you know, every day they just got to grow as a player, defensively, offensively, with learning our system because they're new. Learn from EC. You know, that's one good thing that's great about him is he's a big-time communicator and teacher. So, you know, he'll coach those guys up on the sidelines. You know, he'll tell them, you know, kind of what is expected. He'll tell them the realities of it. Sometimes, you know, a coach can say it, but it's different when a player says it, and they respect him. So I expect EC not only to have a voice when we play, but to help those guys when he's on the sideline, not in the games or not in practice.
Curry last spring said he's kind of done. Did you have to recruit him?
No, to be honest, I didn't want. So you guys said so. I recruited that kid and am extremely close with Eric and obviously know his story. So for me, as a first-time head coach, I said, dude, like, if you get hurt, do you realize, like, I'm gonna also have to live with that. Like, you have to prove to me that you're okay and you really want to do it. And so I literally gave him about, I think, 2.5 weeks where I said, we'll circle back, but, like, you have to go through 2 weeks of training and then let me know how your body feels and if you still want to do it. I didn't want it to be like an emotional decision because it's me or because Peyton's here, because, you know, he just got caught up in it. I wanted it to be something where it was crystal clear that, like, okay, I know how my body feels after about 2.5 weeks. Can I handle that? And then do I still want to do it? Because, like I said, I'm never going to put, whether it's him or any player, in a position where, you know, they're jeopardizing their health. Like, it's not, you know, that's not what we're about. And so, you know, I just wanted to make sure he was good. And then after 2 weeks, he came back to me. He said he wanted to play. And I mean, the credits to him because, you know, this is all him. And now it's our job to figure ways to, you know, get him through the season. You know, it's kind of like Kobe Bryant's final year when those guys just tried to find a way to, you know, he played the first game, and our job is to get him through so he can play on senior night. And we'll do that. I mean, he's done a great job. He knows his body more than anybody. I trust him, and I've told him, like, you've got to tell me, you know, the days that you're good to go, let's go. If there's days where we got to pull back a little bit or you can't go, like, I'm good with that. That's just the reality of what it is. But, you know, we need Eric, you know, as healthy as we can on game days. And to his credit, he wanted to come back for a lot of reasons. I know this place is special to him. Obviously, with COVID, not having fans, I don't think anybody who's put in much time here wants to go out like that. So I think there was a piece where, you know, he wanted to play for the fans here. You know, he wanted to be able to run out of Williams Arena when there's people, have senior night when there's people. So I give him a ton of credit for it. I mean, like I said, it's not easy what he's doing with rehab, and to be able to even practice and play the stuff that you got to do when you're beat up like that. It's a lot. So he deserves a lot of credit, and like I said, we'll find ways to make sure he's ready to go.
Are you even protective of him somewhat in day-to-day practice with drills or certain things? And because you were mentioning we want that line of communication. Yep. If he doesn't feel he's ready to go, but does it extend into practice and drills and?
Yeah, and they did a great job. Him and our trainer Ryan Dotson did a great job last year, kind of making sure that he was good to go and he was able to play. So, no, we have a plan in place, and we talk every morning. And myself, you know, EC and the trainer, okay, is he good to go? Is he not? Is there a minute restriction? And then we kind of go through the practice plan. Okay, I'd rather have EC do this and this today if he can only go for 45 minutes and he can set out X, Y, and Z. So we'll be smart every day in what we do. But like I said, you know, EC knows his body better than anybody. And if he tells me he's good to go, we talk with Ryan and he's good, then he'll go. If there's, you know, parts in practice where he can't do it, or there's a physicality piece, or today it's just an offensive, he can do 5-on-0 stuff because we don't want to do contact with him, we'll just have to adjust.
We've seen just a bit of practice, you know, them scrimmaging a little bit, but just from like the team scrimmages and things like that, from the first time you guys had a big group to do that till now, who's maybe made the most impression or maybe the biggest growth, do you think? Yeah,
no, honestly, every guy has shown a lot of growth because what we're throwing at them is a lot. I mean, I'm throwing a ton at them, especially offensively because of how we want to play. There's a lot of reads. There's a lot of just basketball feel and understanding with spacing that you got to have and counters that are quick. We haven't put in a lot of sets, so it's not black and white. You know, there's a little bit of gray, and they've all slowly in their own way figured it out and picked it up. I guess I don't want to take the older guys for granted. I guess it's easier for them to figure it out because they've been through it. So I guess you see a lot of growth in more of the younger guys because there was so wide of a gap, if that makes sense. Lay's come a long way from where he was the first day in summer to where he is now on both sides of the ball. He's taken huge strides. Trayton has taken huge strides, and just offensively knowing, where to get his shot off at or how to play, how to space the floor, and then defensively with his talk from where he was on day one to now. So those guys have probably been good, but the older guys were really good too. It's just, because they've been around it and they've played, it's a lot easier for them to, figure it out their one time.
Any more questions for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.